Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian, and this video is bass triads, extensions, and quality. And what I'm going to show you today is how to use these triads in a very creative way so you can come up with some great lines and understand a little more about harmony in music. And we'll start right out now. I want to talk about the qualities, then we'll go right into the extensions, some lines, and some creative things you can do with these. So stay tuned, and we'll get rolling now. So let's start with quality of chords. In this case, quality of the triads that occur in a major scale, a diatonic major scale. So what happens is we have a major on the 1, a major on the 4, and a major on the 5. Now that would be what you find in a blues progression. So that makes it a little easy to comprehend, but we'll look at it another way very shortly. Second, we have our minor triads. There'd be 3 of them. Now on the 2nd degree, on the 3rd degree, and on the 6th degree. All minor triads. So you have 3 major chords, one on the 1, 4, and 5, and you have 3 minor chords, one on the 2, 3, and 6. That leaves 1 chord out because you have 7. And that will be on the 7th degree of the C major scale, it will be a B. And that will be a diminished. And the qualities are 3 major, 3 minor, and 1 diminished. That's a nice exercise to try, going up the neck, going through each of the 7 triads that occur on a C major scale. If you like this video, please subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of the videos yet to come. Like, comment, ask me a question. I'd love to answer your question, and maybe it'll inspire me to do a video on the subject we discuss. Now here's where it starts to get a little interesting. We have a triad, a C triad, right? We've already played that. Now what happens if you start a new triad but on the 3rd degree, which would be E? So technically that would be an E minor triad. So you have an E minor triad on top of C major triad. A minor triad on top of a major triad. Now let's look at another way. We're looking at the E minor now as root, flat 3, 5th. But if you want to look at it from the perspective of a C chord, it would be a 3, 5, 7. So if you play them both together, you have 1, 3, 5, 7. A C major chord with an E minor chord on the top. I want to point out this one thing because you'll see that this repeats over and over. Major chord on the bottom, and a minor chord on the top. I saw somewhere when I went through my studies along the way that this was called like an androgynous triad. The yin and the yang. Amazing. C, E minor. Put them both together and you have a C, E, G, B. Or 1, 3, 5, major 7. So now that you've seen we have this major minor configuration, let's explore a little more and go up the neck or up the scale as well. Okay, we've done C major and then start from the 3rd, E minor. Now what happens when we go to the 2nd degree of the scale, or the D minor? Watch this, D minor. Then we start from the 3rd of the D minor and play a triad. It's a major triad, minor, major. So you see it just turned around from the 1st degree, from major to minor, from minor to major, stacked on top of each other. The androgynous theme. Now we go up to the 3rd degree and we play a minor. So guess what's going to happen when we start from the 3rd of this E minor? You guessed it. We get a major chord on top of it. So you have an E minor, and we have a G major on top of that. minor, major. And I just played all first, second, and third degree, fourth degree of the scale, the Lydian. So you have a major, F major. What do we have next? A minor. We start with the A. So you have a major and a minor. So whatever you start on in the degree of the scale, according to its quality, will be the opposite. Androgynous. I'm overusing that. I apologize. So right now I'd like to play this example. I kind of created fingerings that would allow you to play fast. That's most desirable for most bass players, most instrumentalists. Play fast. Anyhow, you don't have to play fast, but I enjoy it. So let me talk about this now a minute. So we're playing this in position. I have a couple of other ways I'd like to show you, so hang in there, that make it easier, I think, and give you other options for fingerings. But this one is just in position. There you have your triad played in a traditional way. And then, that will be the F triad, by the way. And then we throw the A minor on top, and we... And then I have what I call a combo lick, kind of using a little of both of those, which would sound like this. So altogether, you know, you got one bar phrase playing with triplets. That's what's going on here. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Let's look at another way to play it with another type of fingering. And this would be what I call a two-string fingering. I like this a lot because you're only using two strings no matter where you play the lick. And doing that makes it simpler in the way that you don't have to cross a string. And I want to quote Jacko, who said he thought crossing the strings is the most difficult thing you can do on bass. I know people would argue with that. I might even at this point, with all the crazy bass players out there stretching the envelope. This is the two-string approach. Okay, the problem here is you're stretching more than most bass players are used to doing. So you're playing your triad like this. And then you're playing your A minor triad like this. To me it seems much easier, much more relaxed, you know. And you can see I can even play it faster there. I like the way it feels too. So that's your next option. And you notice it's only two strings, and like I said, avoiding that crossing of the strings that you do when you hit the major seventh or the 5 of the A minor chord. Let's try it with tapping. How's that work? I wonder. How do you like that? So the two-string configuration works well with the tapping. Let's see how it works with the three-string configuration. Now it begins to change right about here because we have that tritone that's going to enter the picture. And I'll get into detail on that at another time, but just for now, I'll go over it very lightly. We're at the G7, and the G7 to 5 chord is much different from all the others. It's got a tritone, which loves to resolve. So it's an unstable harmony, actually called dissonant. That's consonant. There we go with the dissonant sound on the 5 chord. So what happens here is we have a major triad, G major, and then we have we have a diminished triad. And the diminished triad is the element that makes it so unstable and dissonant. Let's look at a pattern we can use with this configuration, and this one will be in position. Now, I'm going to use the stretch position, which uses only 2 strings. I feel I can go much faster. Now let's play it slow. So we have a stretch here, which is a major third. This is a G, root to third, then we shift with the index finger up to the 5th, and then play the third again with the 3rd finger. Another very nice use is it's easy to play a tapping line. And the most important, I think, to me, is you can move up the neck very easy, because if you play this pattern, when it shifts, it puts you in direct lineup with the next scale tone. Watch. I'll show you slowly. You have your G, and then when you shift, now you're ready to go to A, and notice my index finger is right over the A. I don't have to move, you know, I've already moved once, and that got me in the position. And you can do the same thing with the A minor. The reason I'm splitting this up into 2 triads is to provide other opportunity, because if you're thinking of this as a G7th arpeggio, you're kind of confined to that one shape. But if you do it this way with the 2 triads on top of each other, you can go off and just use one of the triads, blend them together, thinking differently, seeing different positions on the neck. We're now on the 6th chord, an A minor. So we have the A minor in this position, and then we put a major chord on the 3rd, which would be a C major, and now we play lines. And then my stretch position, to play it faster. And of course, the tapping line. We're now working on the 7th degree of the major scale, which would be a B. And so technically this would be a B minor 7 flat 5, the 4 notes. But it's built a little differently than the rest of them. The rest of the degrees of the scale, for the most part, have a major or a minor on the bottom and then the opposite on the top. This special degree has a unique quality, which is a diminished. So there is a diminished triad on the bottom, 1, flat 3, flat 5, and then from the 3rd this time we get another minor triad, a D minor triad on top of a B diminished triad. A little different. On these lines I'm using 8th notes, so the 8th note patterns, I want to cover a little of each, you know. Now we go to the stretch position. Once again, the stretch position is much easier to play it fast, and also it accommodates a tapping line. And it's easier to move around in position too.